You may have heard these words recently, the Great Resignation.
The Great Resignation, otherwise known as the Big Quit.
People have changed jobs, handed in their notice, changed careers, and also lost their jobs, of course, as well.
Restaurant workers are quitting. Teachers are quitting. Katie Couric quit being a journalist.
A recent survey found that almost a third of all workers in the UK are planning to quit or change careers. Authorities are also seeing skilled labor shortages in China, Japan, and Germany. And in the US, over 33 million Americans have quit their jobs since spring of 2021, with more than 4.4 million quitting just in February of this year alone. These are the highest numbers in American history. So what's going on? Is this a momentary blip? Or is there a greater movement gathering steam?
I think the main thing people are focusing on when they talk about the Great Resignation is that in the last several months, really starting the end of 2021, we've seen the percentage of people who quit their jobs every month increase past any level that's been recorded previously. Some of this is a little bit misleading because, right, there's such a wide number of job openings that a lot of people are quitting for other jobs, right? The whole labor market is re-scrambling as employment levels increase. That's one piece of this. I think another big piece of this is that the quality of jobs changed a lot, right? Before the pandemic, if I worked at a grocery store and you worked at a clothing store, we had pretty similar jobs. During the pandemic, all of a sudden, I'm a hero who has to put my life on the line every single day, and you're unemployed. Right? It's a huge difference all of a sudden. So I think a lot of this is that the quality, the character of jobs that people had before is different now. And as a result, people are looking around and trying to see if what they were doing before is a good match for what they want out of their lives now, right? What they want out of their careers now.
Hey, this is like the reality of like post 2020, right? Like dogs and kids in the background, like this is it.
This is Erica Cruz. She quit her cushy tech job in the middle of last year.
My mom was one of those people who was actually out of work because my mom has a house cleaning business and she's also the worker of her business. And then here's Erica telling her, hey, I'm going to walk away from this six-figure tech job that allows me to work from home in the middle of a pandemic to make TikTok videos and go coach people. You can imagine that my immigrant mom was like, what? The pandemic really just was a wake-up call for a lot of people with, okay, is this how I want to spend the rest of my life? Because a lot of people lost healthy family members, healthy friends, and it just really brought this question of mortality to the top of our minds. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. Is what you are doing today fulfilling enough, or do you want to change that?
Our current approach to work doesn't seem to be working anymore.
You know, a lot of the media discussion that I've seen at least around the Great Resignation is focused on people basically having the pandemic as a time to reevaluate their values and priorities. In particular, people turning away from sort of high pressure, high stress, long hour jobs in favor of maybe less prestigious or less high paying positions that have better work-life balance.
Countries like Sweden, New Zealand, and Japan are starting to experiment with implementing new working conditions, like the 4-day workweek. Research trials were conducted in Iceland over a 6-year period in which participants cut their weekly work hours and retained the same amount of pay. Not only did productivity increase, but participants claimed to be happier and have a healthier work-life balance. And as a result, over 86% of Iceland's workforce now work less weekly hours. We spoke with Jack Kellum, a researcher at Autonomy, the group responsible for the report in Iceland.
This was, given the way in which the trial took place, not primarily in the sort of knowledge or knowledge-based or creative sort of industries, which people usually associate with a shorter working week. It took place in hospitals, hospital apartments, some childcare services, police stations, and so on. This really provided, I think, some really interesting, fresh evidence on the way that a shorter working week can actually take place in quite a wide range of workplaces. We've been working a similar sort of working week for almost a century now, despite all the changes that have taken place, both within models of work, broader societal sort of dynamics, and so on. So, I mean, we really are due a change. I think it's finally catching up with us.
Calls for change are echoing throughout culture. On the fast-growing anti-work subreddit, over 1.8 million people are venting about working conditions and sharing strategies about a work-free life. LinkedIn is also normalizing time away from work, with a new feature that allows people to spotlight career breaks on their profile. And now in Portugal, it's illegal for your boss to text you after work.
I would be surprised if in 10 years we have the same sort of feeling of labor market crisis that we have now. But I wouldn't be surprised if in 10 years, when we look at the percent of people's lives that they spend working, that it has continued to decline.
Personally, I will never go back to corporate. I think it's really just about taking action towards the thing that actually makes us happy.
In an age of godlike technology and automation, people are beginning to actualize a life of working to live rather than living to work.